In my last video, I discussed the detrimental effects of women entering the workforce. My intention when starting the production process of that video was to do a series of videos on women's attempted takeover of all masculine domains. And then this gem fell right into my lap not a few weeks later. This is Sarah Fuller. She is the goalkeeper for the Vanderbilt University women's soccer team. She was offered an opportunity by the coach of the 0-7 Vanderbilt University football team to try out for the position of kicker because the entire kicking squad could not practice or play due to COVID protocols. At the beginning of the second half of a 21-0 rout, the Vanderbilt coach sent Fuller out on the field. And this, according to the entire mainstream media, on Saturday, November 28th, was history. Her story.
This would normally be a 21-0 game. Probably not a whole lot of interest with a 3-score advantage for Missouri, but there is huge interest because we are about to witness history in college football. Vanderbilt Commodores coming back onto the field. They will kick off to start the second half, and Sarah Fuller will kick off for Vanderbilt to become the very first woman to compete in the Southeastern Conference in a football game and a Power 5 football game. And wouldn't you know it, history is on the field in Columbia, Missouri, as Sarah Fuller is about to put her right foot into a football, speaking volumes to women around the world.
Awesome moment. You can hear the crowd. Everybody understands what's happening right now. This is a pretty cool moment.
And the kick down at the 35-yard line, and Sarah Fuller. Happy Thanksgiving.
The media storm that followed was prodigious. ESPN, New York Times, Yahoo Sports, CBS, NBC, and even CNN released videos and articles praising this moment as a triumph for women and girls everywhere. Fuller is now a feminist hero, despite the less than average kickoff and her subsequent failure to cover the kickoff. But that doesn't matter to feminists and normies. The feminists got their story and their hero, and the normies got to feel good because they praised Fuller's accomplishment because they have been conditioned by our society to do so. Twitter was ablaze with gender equity idiots. Unfortunately, simp men also emerged to congratulate Fuller, praising her and the gynocentric social order we live in today. Personally, these men disgust me. It's one thing for a woman to spout absurdity about things they know nothing about, but for men to do it, it's embarrassing. Not only are they upholding the gynocentric social order and encouraging mediocrity, but they don't have the woman's health in mind. If Fuller was to truly play with men engaging in full contact, she might get killed. Also, the single mothers added their own 2 cents, like this woman named Christina, who said, "This gave my daughter such hope. She has played since she was 5 years old, won several Little League Super Bowls, and this year was the starting quarterback for her Pee Wee football team. Our home is so proud of you, Sarah." God, these women are starting their daughters early. They are raising them to be competitive like men and giving them false sense of hope. This girl will never be able to compete in football when she gets older. Period. But in the feminist movement, that doesn't matter. Our society is celebrating mediocrity because we are too cowardly to tell girls like this and like Fuller that they can't compete against men. Case in point, after the kickoff, defenders of womanhood immediately defended Fuller's terrible kick on Twitter and the mainstream media. Because again, we are praising mediocrity. It's not about the results when it comes to women. It's about making them feel good. For a civilization, this is not a healthy practice. Like I said in my last video, when women collectivize in a traditionally results-oriented space, the goals of that group become about mental health and harmony, not about achieving the desired results. Let's see what her coach said about the kickoff. That was designed, meant for her because that's what she's used to striking. Really, we tried to go with the most natural kicks in her arsenal. Tried not to, overcoach her, but let her do and understand what felt comfortable to her. And that's what we went with. Man, I thought she punched it exactly where she needed to punch it. Ball's down, 35-yard line. Let's go, he said. She's been a trooper. I mean, she came right in. She was all about the challenge. Man, I have the utmost respect for her. Her soccer coach, Darren Ambrose, for allowing this to happen and for her to be a part of it. Look, man, she could have easily said no to this. And instead, man, she prepared all week. And she did what she was supposed to do. She was as prepared as anybody. This simp coach, Derek Mason. He's only pandering to Fuller and the female audience. He said that Fuller practiced all week that very kick that she made in the game. And of course she did. She couldn't kick it longer than she did, so they practiced covering a 30-yard squib kick. The harsh truth is that she could have practiced kickoffs for years, but because she is a female, she could never kick as far as a male kicker. And I'm not trying to be mean, that is just reality. Why do I think Coach Mason had her kick off? Let's look at the facts. Going into the game, Vanderbilt was 0-7. Mason's job was on the line. When his kicking team was forced to quarantine, instead of allowing the punter to kick off or other male Vanderbilt soccer players to try out for kicker, he brought on a female soccer player to be the kicker. This was a media stunt. He was on the verge of losing his job, and he wanted to bow down to the university elites and corporate overlords and contribute in breaking the glass ceiling for women in college sports in order to save his job, or at least distract from his awful team. Hilariously, after this media stunt and his one day in the limelight for advancing the feminine social order, he was fired the next day for his 40-0 dismal defeat in that very game. We haven't seen the last of Fuller. Apparently, it was announced a few days later after her debut by the interim head coach of Vanderbilt that she will be kicking again in the next Saturday's game. This is the future of sports, men. Women will continue to enter traditionally male spaces until that space alters its rules to fit women and it becomes unrecognizable. The popular mantra among feminists is the future is female. I contend that the present is female. I'll leave you with this article written by Sirat Sohi, an NBA reporter for Yahoo Sports. This is a woman. She wrote in this article about Fuller's moment and admits in the article that she knows nothing about football. However, being the solipsistic modern woman that she is, Sirat thought she could voice her opinion regardless. Now, when I read this, remember, men, this is an article from a sports website. Okay, I can't stress this enough. Where once men could go read about sports objectively, written by rational men who logically dissect the games, is now turning into something unrecognizable. This is subjective mysticism, which this female writer espouses. It's an omen for the future of sports and sports media. Men, this is our future. Sirat writes, "But I've been an empty vessel. I try and nothing. Our bodies protect us, I guess. But the day comes when they have to betray us. Maybe today would be the day where everything rushed in. Maybe it was just my period." I'm sorry. No one ever really knows what's going on with themselves. I just knew I didn't have it in me to rinse and repeat another day inside the same four walls, staring at the same dreary snow. There was nothing in my cup, and I couldn't fill it up with yoga or meditation or any of the quotes on the bulletin board in my makeshift office. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get through this. Then a video started playing. This morning, hospitals sounding the alarms as ICUs reach record highs for the 17th day in the ... That's as far as I got before I rushed to find the tab and close it like I was playing whack-a-mole with a laptop touchpad. And then I just sat there, and the tears finally mercifully rolled out. I thought about all the things I can't control, from the onslaught of new grief that is meeting us all every day to the fact that I probably won't make a pocket pass from the pick and roll for months, from the tension that just will not recede from my eyebrows to the fact that I don't know how to help my parents, don't know how to help myself. And then I looked up. Another Tolstoy quote on my bulletin board. The role of an artist is not to resolve a question irrefutably, but to compel one to love life in all its inexhaustible manifestations. Sarah Fuller's kick likely isn't going to change the world. It is not a reason for optimism, nor is it a harbinger of progress. But on Saturday, November 28th, her laces hit rubber, sent the ball 35 yards to the right, and in doing so, she gave birth to an astounding work of art. Alright, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate the support from those who continue to give it to me. YouTube has destroyed my channel. It doesn't even get the notifications out to my subscribers, but that's okay. I love making these videos, and I appreciate the support. Follow me on Twitter at @partyofone6, and I also have a Patreon if you decide to support me. Thanks a lot.